Sometimes we jokingly use the term brainworms. And what we mean sometimes by brainworms is somebody's abilities to think critically and consistently are either suspended deliberately or just not functioning. We finally got a very interesting interview. Fox interviewed a supporter of Georgia Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker. And they actually asked her, what about the fact that he paid for an abortion for a woman he urged to get the abortion after he impregnated her? What about that? Because this woman is presumably pro-life, anti-choice, anti-abortion, and he claims to be as well. And she says, we've all done things when we were young. Herschel Walker was a nearly 50-year-old man when this happened. When we were young, he's 60 now. He was almost 50 when he did this. What the hell are you talking about? And this is an example of the total cognitive dissonance that exists and the inability to reach certain people, which is where I'm going to focus in here. But let's take a look at this clip, okay?
Does it matter to you if it's true or not?
No. As long as he is had a change of heart. I mean, we all do things when we're young, naive. He's an adult now.
Yeah. He was an adult of nearly 50 years of age when he impregnated a woman, urged her to get an abortion, paid for the abortion, and now, in this second case that we now know of, implicitly and menacingly threatened the woman he impregnated by saying, you would not be safe if you did not get an abortion, and the eventual child would not be safe if you didn't get an abortion. So there's a bunch of different stories here. Let's talk about them. First is the realization that many of us have had. You really can't reason with these voters, right? What if that woman who we just saw the interview with, she straight up says, he's changed his mind and he did this when he was young. We all do things when we were young. He was almost 50. Okay, you can't reason with her. So what do you have to do? You have to take the money that you might spend trying to reach those people, and instead you have to target rational people to just get them out to vote. So as a political strategy, we've said before, where do you spend limited resources? How do you invest the resources and time that you have? Is it on trying to change the minds of people like that woman? Seems quite fruitless. I think you would agree, at least from an election story. Interpersonally, sure, try to talk sense into her. But as far as we have X number of dollars to spend, do we try to just get out the vote from people who already lean in our direction? Or do we try to change the minds of people like that? You've got to just try to get people to vote that are not totally bamboozled and disconnected from reality like that woman. That's number one. Number two, this idea of redemption. This is an extraordinary get out of jail free card for the right, which is important for us to understand. Redemption can be used to explain away any transgression, no matter what, as long as the individual has completely implausibly repented or said why they've changed their mind. And it's used by the right to never have to actually consider voting for a Democrat, to never consider that the Democrat may actually be the better choice, as Raphael Warnock is in the state of Georgia. We saw this with Trump. Donald Trump, 68 years of life pro-choice. All of a sudden, he's running to be the Republican presidential nominee, and he needs some way to no longer be pro-choice that people will believe. Trump comes up with the completely unbelievable story. Well, I was very pro-choice my whole life. This is Trump's story, okay? I used to be pro-choice, but I met a woman who had a kid, and I met the kid, and it was a great kid. And the woman said, at one point, I wasn't sure if it was the right thing to have this pregnancy, to carry this pregnancy to term. I thought about getting an abortion, and I didn't. And Trump goes, you know what? My 68 years of being pro-choice, I flushed him down the toilet 10 to 15 times because I met a kid I liked. That's the story. I don't believe that. That's an absurd story. I know many of you don't believe that story, but it's a get out of jail free card for the right wingers who go, he saw the light eventually. Yes, it took him 68 years, but he eventually saw the light. On religion, we know Trump is not religious. We know Trump has no idea about religion. He didn't grow up religious or any of it. But he started saying, I love the Bible. Oh, really, Mr. President? Or at the time he wasn't president. Mr. Trump, sir, what's your favorite passage? Oh, that's personal. I don't want to get into that. Do you believe that? Do you believe that Trump is a Bible guy? Are you a First Amendment? Are you a New Testament or an Old Testament guy? Both. Oh, okay. Completely unbelievable. But the evangelical right eventually came around and said, well, he eventually figured out the right position on abortion, and he's religious now, and he loves the Bible, and blah, blah, blah. So the redemption story is a blank slate, get out of jail free card if they want it. If they want it. If they want to bury you, then they don't use the redemption story. But as long as you've said, I changed my mind, they completely uncritically accept it if it's convenient. Now let's kind of go to the last thing. Speaking very narrowly and specifically, how do people like this have a driver's license? How do people like this hold a job? Like the woman who we saw there. She's holding a kid in the interview. How does she parent a child? Some of these folks, I genuinely don't know how they get through the day. I don't know how they accomplish the simplest tasks. Grocery shopping. Figuring out the right amount of Tylenol to take, quite frankly. I don't know how they survive. I don't, because they are so... I don't even want to characterize it with adjectives. It's disturbing to think about the number of folks that are this clueless that just live in the country with us. And it helps us understand how Trump won. And unfortunately, why Herschel Walker may also win on Tuesday if our Georgia friends and neighbors don't get out to vote. Check out our sponsor, Shaker and Spoon, the monthly cocktail subscription box that delivers the craft cocktail experience to your door. Each monthly box comes with 3 original recipes created by world-class bartenders with ingredients for 12 cocktails. My favorite is the Blood and Sage. It's part of the vodka-based drinks. It uses herbed sage syrup and blood orange Meyer lemon ginger ale. Delicious, refreshing. I love how Shaker and Spoon includes everything you need, the ingredients, the instructions, right in the box. The recipe is easy to follow. The Blood and Sage made for a very relaxing fall afternoon on the back deck. A lot of fun. With Shaker and Spoon, you don't need to seek out hard-to-find cocktail ingredients or buy full-size containers of things you'll use once. This is way more convenient. Shaker and Spoon introduces you to spirits and flavor combinations you may never have otherwise discovered, and it is a fantastic holiday gift. Give the gift of an awesome experience. Shaker and Spoon giving you $20 off your first box. Go to shakerandspoon.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.